So, just how old do you gotta be to drive a truck? Well, that depends. Yeah, that depends how old you gotta be on a couple things. And the reason I bring it up is because I've seen it brought up a couple times over the past month or two, maybe longer, or even before then, on social media, where somebody somewhere is proposing that 18 to 21 year old intrastate CDL drivers should be able to go across the state lines. Now, back up just a bit. Intrastate, interstate, what's the difference? Basically, there's intrastate rules where you're just running within your state. And if you have a CDL, that's an intrastate license because you're 18 to 21, because you have to be, right now, I'm guessing in most states, if not all, 21 to have an interstate CDL driver's license to be able to go like coast to coast. So they're saying that if you have an intrastate license and you're 18 to 21, you should be able to cross state lines. Now, I know there's a lot of people that right away come up and say, I've heard all the arguments. I wouldn't trust an 18-year-old to drive across the street in a big truck. Well, I mean, you got a lot of farm guys that grew up on the farm driving their grain wagons and stuff on the farms when they're 12, 13, 14 years old. And that's not everybody, but there's a lot like that, and they'll fight that argument. And then you got guys that say they just don't have enough experience. They don't know what they're doing. They need to be out there more running in their state before they can be trusted to go across state lines. Now, if you're an 18-year-old, 19, 21-year-old intrastate driver and you live in Rhode Island, you probably need to be being paid by the hour because you're not going to get a whole lot of miles running in Rhode Island. Now, you're in Texas, and you can run 4,000 miles a week if you ran hard and stay in Texas. That brings me to my main point in all of this talk about intrastate drivers and interstate drivers. Now, one thing is I looked up an article, take it for what it is, and it went state by state to what the regulations are. All the states I looked at, I didn't look at every single one of them, but all the states I looked at said 18 to 21 can have to stay within the state and live in that state, have their license in that state. 21 and over can cross state lines. Now, here's my point. Texas, you're telling me that you can trust the driver enough to hire him, and he picks up a load in Orange, Texas, on I-10 down near Louisiana, and he can drive all the way on the other side of El Paso. That's almost 900 miles. Now, you hired him and you trust him to take that 18-wheeler full of freight. Could be millions of dollars of computers or whatever, or gasoline or fuel or, anything. You trust him to do that, but you're not going to trust him to go on into New Mexico. Or the other way, going back and go into Louisiana. But to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, now it's going to be up to the companies, of course, to decide how much experience they want people to go. If this thing goes through, how much experience they want people to have before they let them go so many miles away from the home terminal, whatever. Insurance companies are going to have to come up today. When I started, they wanted you to be 25 and 2 years experience or 5 years experience, something like that. So basically you had to be 27 or something like that. I went over the road mostly when I was about 24. I got an opportunity. I'll go over that some other time. But, so, you trust a guy to go all over Texas, but you can't trust him to go into the next state? I don't know. if you're hiring somebody and you decide that he's responsible enough to go to the next state, maybe Canada. Yeah, I don't know what Canada may or not let them in until they're 21. I don't know. There's a whole different set of rules up there. But if let the marketplace decide, right? Let the people decide what they want to hire their guys for. Let the insurance companies decide what kind of liability they want to take on with those younger guys. Because we need drivers, right? There's supposedly a driver shortage. Now, whether you believe that or not, of course, they mostly say it's a pay shortage. Could be. I don't know. I know we're real busy, and we're looking for 14 line haul drivers, if it hadn't changed, just in Dallas. So come decide. So that's my opinion on intrastate drivers running interstate. Go down in the description. Check out all my links. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Press that button, hit the alarm bell notification button. Get notified when I drop a video. Like this video for me, and we will see you next time.